Hi everyone! Welcome to this video. My name is Miska and I'm here today to talk about my experience at Kyung Hee University because clearly I'm not over it and I had such a great experience that I'm still filming a video about it 1 year later. So last year in 2019, I went on a student exchange to Korea. I went to Kyung Hee University for 1 semester, which is the spring semester from end of February to June. And I thought it would be cool to make a video because I had a lot of questions before going, and hopefully this video will answer a lot of yours about going to Kyung Hee University. So I kind of categorized the video. So we'll be talking about the classes, homeworks and exams, making friends, living in a dormitory, and all about the money. Ding, 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 ding. How many classes did I take? I took 5 classes. And it was a mix of communication classes and business administration classes. And for me, the reason why I took those classes was because I had to take equivalent classes to what I would take back in my home university. Since I major in communications here, I had to take classes that were similar. And then there's a lot of classes from different departments. So there's like humanities, tourism and hospitality. There's East Asian studies. So there's a lot of departments and a lot of classes to choose from. And with 5 classes, I had 4 days of school and 1 day off. So I had my Monday off and it was really nice because it was like a long weekend every weekend. And so I had time to travel, to explore, and just to have fun basically and be a tourist. So it's really great. Were the classes taught in English? Yes, my classes were taught in English, all of them. I don't speak Korean and I don't understand Korean, so I had to make sure I chose classes that were taught in English. But I saw a lot of videos online where people got into trouble because they would choose English class options, but once they got to Kyung Hee, the classes were taught in Korean somehow and they were stuck with it. They couldn't change it. So that really freaked me out and I had to make sure that my classes were taught in English. And I'll tell you how I did it. So first, you have to, when you do your class selection, make sure to click the English option. It's going to filter out the classes that are in English or labeled as English. Second, make sure to read the description and to download the syllabus, because in the syllabus it will tell you sometimes if it's in Korean or in English, or if sometimes you'll see the description in English but then in the syllabus everything is in Korean, or the books that you have to buy are in Korean, and that's a sign it's probably not a class taught in English, so you should pick another class. Third, if you like the class and you're unsure if the class is in English or in Korean, you can email the professor if their email is on it and hope that they will reply to you and tell you if it's in English or in Korean. Side note though, if you want to take classes in Korean, it's possible too. You just have to pass a test and prove them your level of Korean is good. How is the dynamic of the classroom? How are the teachers and the students? Every class was different, but on average I would say there would be 50 to 100 people per class, and most of the students were Korean. I was really surprised by that because I don't know, I think I expected to be in a class full of exchange students, full of foreigners, but in all of my classes it was mainly Korean students and there were just few exchange students. About the teachers, I actually really liked them. I made sure to check their reviews, but other than that, like, I really liked my experience with them. I remember when I was calling my friends and my family and telling them how nice I thought they were and how passionate they were when they were teaching their subject, and it really shows that they liked teaching and they were interested in what they were teaching. And so obviously some teachers were a lot more intense than others, but overall they're pretty cool. Were the exams hard? If you listen in class and you study well, you're good. Is there a lot of homework and assignments to do? You don't have a lot, but you also don't have nothing to do. So it's like, on average, I would say that we had up to 5 assignments per class. And obviously you have the midterm exam and the finals exam. And sometimes you would have group projects also. But it all depends on the classes that you take. For me, I had a group project for each class that I took. So I had 5 group projects by the end of the semester, and I had some pretty stressful moments because I just felt like everything was at the same time.
It's currently 4:16 a.m. and I feel like I'm gonna die pulling an all-nighter to study.
But I went through it, and you can go through it too, so don't worry about that at all. How were the group projects? I expected to work with a lot of foreigners because I heard that Koreans were shy or they didn't want to team up with foreigners because they think that they're only here to party since they're on a student exchange. But my teachers made a lot of the groups, and they made a requirement for a foreigner to be in the team. So I ended up working with a lot of Koreans, and honestly, I really enjoyed my experience. It was a great and interesting experience. Obviously, there was a lot of ups and downs because sometimes I wouldn't understand what they were saying or they wouldn't understand me. But there was always this person in the group that was a bit better in English, so they would translate what I say in Korean, and then he would translate back what they were saying in Korean. They would translate back in English so that I could understand. And so I thought it was a really thoughtful process. Yeah, I learned a lot about their culture and how they work. And obviously, I learned a lot about communication and interpersonal skills. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed my time working with them. And I created some really good memories. As long as you do your part and you show that you put effort in the group, you're good. You're good. Was it hard to make friends? No, it was not hard to make friends. I went to Korea alone and I didn't know anyone going to Kyung Hee University either, but I still made a lot of friends, so it's not that hard. What really helped me though is the fact that there was a school club, the IFCC, which stands for the International Friendship Culture Club. It's a school club at Kyung Hee University made of Korean students, and basically what they do is they help foreigners, they help new exchange students integrate themselves in their new environment, so their new school and their new in the new country basically, and they're there just to make friends. And they're really nice and really welcoming, and I really love IFCC members. Yeah, I made a lot of good memories with them. They're so nice and they're open arms for us to come, and yeah, and they organize a lot of activities and events such as the field trip, which I made a video on, so make sure to go watch it because you'll see how fun they are. Also, one thing about them is that I think once you get there, you're like automatically an IFCC member, or like you don't have to sign up to be in the club. You're, like I said, you're kind of automatically in it. But the thing you have to sign up for is if you want to participate in these activities, you have to like put your names in, but they'll give you the info. Aside from IFCC, and what really helped me make friends is the fact that I stayed at the dorm. So being able to be so close with all the other exchange students made it really easy to, you know, bump into each other and like talk and then ask where they're from and stuff. So it's really easy to make friends if you stay at the dorm. How to apply for the dormitory? I applied for the dormitory at the same time as I applied for the student exchange. So there's a document that you have to fill in and write to them and let them know that you want to stay at the dorm. And the dormitory that I stayed at was called Sewa Hall, which is an on-campus dormitory. So it was super practical. You just have to walk 5 minutes from like the dorms to get to your class. So no stress, you don't need to take any transportation whatsoever. So that's pretty cool. But how much did it cost? In 2019 when I went, the price that I paid was 994,000 Korean won, which equals to $1,111.39 Canadian money. And that's a really great deal for 4 months. So during the whole semester, I had to pay that amount, and that's it, that's all. Few things about Sewa Hall. There's no kitchen, you cannot cook food, there's a small fridge in your room, there's a water dispenser for hot and cold water at the end of the corridor on each level of the dormitory. There are microwaves and grills in the lobby room. The floor levels are separated into genders. Each floor is restricted to one gender. You cannot go into a boys' room if you're a girl, and vice versa. There's a room checkup every month. Someone comes in and check if your room is clean, and you get penalty points if it's dirty. There's a curfew. It's at 1 a.m. and if you don't come back in time, you will be locked outside until 5. If you want to see what it looks like inside the dorm, I made a little video also. That's on my channel, Dorm Tour of Kyung Hee University. So go check it out. Now let's talk about the money. So I made some calculations, but keep in mind that in my case, my home university, University of Montreal, had a partnership with Kyung Hee University, and so I had to pay the same fees as if I was back in Montreal. So it's gonna be different for you if you're applying directly or if you come from another university in another country. But based on my calculations, the school fees were about 1,300, and then add on the flight ticket, which is $2,000 for Montreal-Seoul round trip, and then the dormitory, if you round it up, is about $1,120. And then other documents that I had to pay for, such as visa, medical paper, pictures, passport pictures and stuff like that, it was about $150. And so it comes up to a total of $4,570. It's a good big amount. If you can, apply for scholarships because it will really help you. Do you need to open a bank account? Nope. So I didn't open a bank account and it was fine. I thought it was too complicated to open one on top of everything I had to deal with. So I just used my credit cards around, and I also used the global ATM to withdraw the money. So I'm mostly, every places that I go, I would pay with cash. How much money did I spend? I gave myself a limit of $800 a month, which is a pretty high limit, but considering that I used it for food, drinks, activities, going out, shopping, and everything. So on average, I would spend about $200 a week and $28 a day. But you can definitely spend a lot less. In one day, you can easily have 3 meals with like $10 to $15. So yeah, it all depends on how much you want to spend. But yeah. So that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video will help you decide whether or not you want to go to Kyung Hee University, or at least calm down your worries a little bit, because I know there's not a lot of videos talking about people's experience at Kyung Hee. It's mostly about the other top 3 universities. But trust me, Kyung Hee is great. And I really liked my experience, so that's why I wanted to share it. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.